This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Suncoast. I'm Don Brennan along with John Scalzi, and Rebecca is off this morning.
Yes, sleeping in.
She was probably watching the NBA Finals and couldn't get up this early.
Probably.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We'll tell you about that game.
I can't remember. Was she a Cleveland fan?
Nah, she's from Connecticut.
Yeah.
She's probably a New York Giants fan, Yankees fan, all that.
That's too bad. Well, anyway, we have some pretty decent weather shaping up for you today. It was a lovely weekend, I thought.
It was. Some rain,
indeed.
but some sun.
Yeah, it's got some sunshine around. We have a daytime high temperature today that will be exquisite. It'll top out in the upper 80s, yes, but lower relative humidity will make it feel very comfortable. And today, no rain, so we get a little break, a little chance to dry out. All in all, a nice shaping up day for us here on the Suncoast.
Excellent, John. The moon did look beautiful this morning. And taking a look at the Suncoast roadways, not a lot going on there. Everything seems to be moving along in Manatee County. As this time in the morning, it's 5:01, and as you move down into Sarasota County, 75, 301, 41, all moving along, as are the major arteries out to 75 from the coast. And nothing in South Sarasota County is being an issue either. So, topping our news this morning, there is a relationship that became quickly troublesome, and it was the human trafficking. And, well, there is an issue with this trafficking. Encourage other victims to come forward, since we have the first local case where a suspect is found guilty of human trafficking, and Kate Flexter has the story.
It was last November when 22-year-old Ronald McBride III began coaching and grooming the victim on how to trade her body for drugs and money, a relationship that quickly became abusive.
He became violent, with increasing violence over the time period that he was essentially pimping this particular victim out.
The victim told police she had to give all the money she made to McBride because, quote, "he owns me."
She was not out there on her own, doing this on her own free will. Human trafficking, the statute requires a level of coercion.
Months of abuse came to a head one night when the victim did not return, and when McBride found her, he beat her with his gun. When he left, she was able to get up and run to Tamiami Trail, where she said McBride was less likely to shoot her. It was there someone found her and called 911. On Friday, McBride was found guilty of 6 felonies, one of which was human trafficking.
It was scary, and she was extremely brave.
The president and CEO of the nonprofit Selah Freedom says this case is crucial in the fight against human trafficking.
Sends a strong message to those on the street that, hey, people do care, and we're going to start cracking down.
Selah Freedom says Florida is 3rd in the nation for most human trafficking, and the Suncoast has the 2nd highest rate of the crime in the state. Selah Freedom, along with the Sarasota Police Department and the State Attorney's Office, is actively combating those statistics, starting the very first prostitution diversion program in the state. Fisher says that safety net helps girls feel comfortable coming forward.
They're able to actually testify now where they never would have. And I think it is a landmark case in positioning us as a leader in this movement, because this girl knows she did it because she had the safety of being protected, so she could use her voice.
McBride is expected to be sentenced in September. The maximum sentence he faces is life in prison. Back to you.
And a committal service will be held in Sarasota today to honor a soldier killed during the flooding in Texas earlier this month. The committal service will be held at 1 o'clock this afternoon at Sarasota National Cemetery. And Nathaniel Fuller was one of 9 soldiers killed during a June 2nd training exercise at Fort Hood when the vehicle they were in overturned in floodwaters. The 23-year-old moved to Palmetto a few years back to receive his associate's degree from State College of Florida. He was awarded a National Defense Service Medal and Army Service Ribbon. His funeral service for Private First Class Zachary Fuller was held Saturday in Palmetto.
We're all saddened. It's a friend, coworker, and part of the community, and he'll be truly missed.
He shared with me all the time that the Army was his dream. He always wanted to go in, and so he passed doing what he wanted to do in his life, and not many of us do that.
He is survived by his mother and father, sister, and a grateful nation. 13 families from 8 states are coming together on the Suncoast to send their loved ones to a unique resting place. They're creating an eternal reef for deceased family members. The 4-day process includes mixing the ashes with environmental concrete and placing them in a concrete ball and sending it down into the water as a natural reef. After creating the concrete mixture on Friday, the families will release the reef balls into the water this morning. Jason Hall traveled from Indiana to create an eternal reef memorial for his mother, and she thought of the idea before she actually passed away.
In her death, she's going to sprout new life, and I think that that's an amazing thing. She loved the ocean, and she would like nothing better than to be in it every day.
The family members will head out into the Gulf and release the reef balls at the Silvertooth Reef just off of Siesta Key. And a series of workshops will be held this week to help homeowners understand the changes being made to flood maps and insurance requirements in Sarasota County. 28,000 properties will be added to the high-risk flood zone in November, half of which are in Northport. If there is a home or a building located on the property, the owner could be required to buy flood insurance, and if they don't have it already. The changes come as FEMA works to update its flood maps, and the first workshop will be held this afternoon from 4 to 7 at the Venice Community Center, and there will also be workshops later this week in Englewood, Northport, Sarasota, and Nokomis. In Manatee County, contamination is the latest concern over a new development planned for the former Palm View Golf Course in Palmetto. According to the Bradenton Herald, a report from the Florida Department of Environmental Protection shows the former owner improperly stored chemicals on that property. The chemicals include 800 bags of fertilizer and 22 gallons of herbicides, as well as other mislabeled and improperly contained materials. The report says it had a likelihood of impact on the area, so nearby residents are asking the county or the DEP to ensure that soil testing is done before the development continues. Now, Sarasota in Defense of Animals want their voices to be heard loud and clear about the bear hunt season in Florida. The group held a protest at Bayfront Park on Saturday. The group does not want the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission to proceed with another bear hunt here in Florida. Last year's was the first in the last 20 years, and they call last year's hunt a, quote, bloodbath, and says it's unconscionable that any more hunts be planned.
Us in almost 30 cities are united on this day to tell Governor Scott and the FWC, keep your bloody hands off our bears. We are taking them back.
The final decision will be made next week when the FWC staff recommendation goes before the commission. And it was a successful weekend at Manatee County Animal Services. More than a dozen dogs and cats were adopted this past weekend. However, there are still about 180 animals in need of forever homes. The Palmetto shelter is 2 times more full than it's supposed to be, and they're supposed to have about 80 animals. The overflow was from a recent seizure of part of an investigation being conducted by the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. Details of that ongoing investigation have yet to be released. And relief is on the way for drivers heading out to St. Armands this week. Now, state transportation officials will temporarily stop construction on the Coon Key Bridge. Both westbound lanes will be open to traffic through the 4th of July holiday. However, work will resume on July 5th, and pedestrians will not be able to use the sidewalks while repairs take place. The project is expected to be completed by mid-August, but that's a nice little respite for the 4th of July holiday. Community members in Ribonia will have a reason to celebrate now. After months and months of trying to get this done, the Ribonia Community Center will reopen today for a summer program. The drop-in program will serve school-aged children who live in Ribonia. It will run until the end of July, and a ribbon-cutting ceremony will be held this morning to celebrate the center's reopening. It will begin at 8:30. And Donald Gould has reunited with the artist whose piano made him famous. That's to welcome a close replica, that is, twice as nice. A consignment store in downtown Sarasota donated the piano for local artist Victoria Bulova to beautify a second time. The theme, a duplication of one Gould stumbled upon last year along Main Street in Sarasota. The pair have met a few times since and took time to reflect on this journey Saturday morning.
I'm really proud it was mine, and it was really nice that, you know, I could be a part of somebody's dramatic life change.
She's fun to hang out with, you know. We've become pretty good friends, you know, this past year.
And Gould says his music career has been going well. He recently released his first single. It's a cover of the Styx hit, Come Sail Away. Yes, come sail away.
That's great.
Come sail away with me.
That's fantastic. And he looks fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. He brushed him up.
Yep.
spiffed them up. Looking good.
Yep, and he is apparently steering the ship in the right direction.
Yes, we got a little cleanse this weekend too. Some downpours.
Did indeed.
Washed away by the sun.
Fairly heavy at times, actually, but today, it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful afternoon for this first day of summer.
Today?
Surprisingly, because it sure felt like summer last week.
Oh my God!
But officially, summer begins is today. So we are enjoying some beautiful, warm, but kind of uncharacteristically dry weather today. So we'll talk about that in a minute.
Sounds good. Thank you, John. The debate over gun control heating up in Washington as 4 amendments go before lawmakers just a week after the Orlando mass shooting. Won't believe what the head of the NRA has to say to people who might vote today.
Hurricane season is here, so when severe weather threatens, count on the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC 7.
We're armed with the most advanced weather technology.
And focus on the Suncoast.
The official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC 7. We're here for you.
They say good things come to those that wait. Well, you've waited long enough. You deserve to feel fabulous in your fashionable new Fiat 500X from Alfa Romeo Fiat in Sarasota. Boldly innovative, seductively stylish. Fiat gives you everything you'd expect from a capable utility vehicle, like a spacious interior and advanced safety systems, designed and built like a sexy little sportster. Don't wait any longer. You deserve to feel fabulous. Get a new Fiat at Alfa Romeo Fiat of Sarasota.
Did you know? Many dogs are returned to shelters simply because they lack obedience. Contact Canine Corral about various training programs. We train dogs and their owners. Canine Corral, where the love is.
I'm Dale Mast, and we're celebrating 40 years on the west coast of Florida.
It's our 40th anniversary, and it's time for a celebration, the Culligan Hydration Celebration. For a limited time, celebrate by taking $250 off any Culligan home system. That's $250 off Culligan water softener systems, drinking water systems, or whole house water filters. Help us celebrate our 40th anniversary, and remember,
for better water, pure and simple, call today and say, "Hey, Culligan man."
This Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix Minute is brought to you by Sarasota Ford.
The Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix originated in 1985 by a group of local businessmen, among them the race's brainchild, the late Gene Whipp. What began as an annual picnic at the beach for children with special needs has expanded into a 10-day festival, raising $100,000 a year for Suncoast Charities for Children and generating an economic impact of $32 million for the area.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, because Sarasota Ford guarantees you our lowest price on every new Ford every day. Save on America's best-selling truck, 39 years running, the Ford F-150. Fusions, Escapes, over 800 vehicles on site or online, all on sale. Buy with 0% for 60 months. And now, get up to 2,000 trade assistance. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC 7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
Big, bright, beautiful full moon out there, fairly clear skies, longest day, shortest nights. It's going to be a nice day, especially when you consider that. The dew point value, 68, a full 10 degrees, just about. Cooler than it was when we left on Friday. So something has happened, and that is a cold front, unusual for this time of year, has moved through. It's brought us a few scattered showers around yesterday, and now it is drawing in that northeast wind and that drier air. So 74 degrees our air temperature, kind of nice, certainly, compared to the 80s that we saw last week. We'll take 74, and tomorrow morning I think it'll be even cooler as that drier air continues to settle in. 77 Longboat Key, 73 Bradenton Parish, 73 Lakewood Ranch, 75 in Venice and Inglewood, 73 Wauchula, 73 in Arcadia, 73 Mayaca City, 74 in Northport. I'll bet you that by tomorrow morning some of these inland temperatures are in the upper 60s. That's pretty nice for this time of year. Across the nation right now, everything's pretty quiet, really. We do have a potential that some of the showers that we see right now in the western Great Lakes will eventually develop into stronger storms as everything kind of pushes in toward the Ohio Valley a little bit later on this afternoon. We have some smattering of showers down around the Louisiana Delta region. And over the state of Florida, things are pretty quiet. We have a chance of seeing a few scattered showers along the other coast, along the east coast. But locally, we stay dry today. Dry with a lot of sunshine around. Right now, everything is very quiet, so morning commute will be absolutely rain-free. In fact, I think the next probably 3, maybe 4 days will be rain-free around here until we can get some moisture back. If we look at where the severe storms are, as I mentioned, the Ohio Valley, actually it'll be ringing right along the central and eastern Great Lakes, down through the Ohio Valley and then back into the plains. That'll be the best location for any kind of severe weather today. We don't even get a thunderstorm today. We get very little in the way of rainfall for the next several days. Good chance to dry out and get some of those mosquitoes out of here. Maybe the southern tip of the state might get a few isolated showers. That's where moisture is still the thickest. They have a stalled frontal boundary right down through the Florida Straits that's in the process of washing away. Tropically speaking, things look good for the state of Florida. Nothing in the nearby Atlantic to concern us too much. Caribbean is quiet. The eastern Gulf of Mexico is just fine. We do have a new tropical depression that's way out in the Bay of Campeche. The tropical depression number 4 is headed in a direction that'll take it toward the coast of Mexico, where it will just eventually waste away. So this is not a player for the state of Florida. You may hear about it, but it is not going to be an issue for us. Drier air has filtered in on that northerly wind flow. The winds could be kind of breezy today, but they will be a dry wind out of the northeast, and that will continue to pump down that dry, beautiful air that'll bring us a gorgeous sunset tonight, I think. It should be a very pretty evening indeed. As far as forecast for boaters goes, that's the only problem today. I think the winds might be elevated just a little bit northeast at about 10 to 15, so small craft should exercise caution for the first half of the day anyway. 89 degrees our daytime high with comfortable relative humidities. Next chance of rain doesn't come toward the end of the week. Back to you, Donnie.
Thank you, John. Taking a look at the roadways this morning at 517. Everything is moving along nicely. There is really no accidents in Manatee County. There is starting to be a bit of a backup as you approach 75 from the west, in between 301 and 75 on State Road 70, so be aware of that. But there's no accident there or otherwise delay. In Sarasota County, everything is looking good. All the major roadways moving along all the way from North County down through South County. Now, 2 years ago, a high school sophomore and a track coach teamed up to hold a summer camp that was accessible for everyone. It's a track camp where people learn how to run free, and in this camp, you also run for free, as you will see. This camp is a labor of love. As a rising sophomore at Pineview School, Alexis Bene Sharma decided to use her love of track for a higher purpose.
I really like track. I've been participating since 7th grade, and I wanted to share basically my passion for these younger students to get interested in the sport as well.
Alexis then teamed up with Paul Williams, a track coach who she had trained under, and they started a free track camp during 1 week each summer.
I saw in a lot of high schools that there's an increased demand of track and field runners, and I thought the way to start increasing this participation is starting at a younger age and getting kids interested, because a lot of kids don't know all the different parts of track and field.
So it begins. The summer camp circuit, counselors in training, campers, summer heat, and bug juice. Well, maybe not bug juice at this track camp, but here kids are taught the necessities of running under the hot Florida sun.
It's tough because it's so hot and humid. You see them sweating like crazy already. It's just make sure we take plenty of breaks, a lot of hydration, and just that's one of the things we also try to teach, proper stretching and hydration and things of that nature, even at an early age.
In just its 3rd year, the camp has already doubled in size, and Alexis, who will be a senior in August, thinks this camp will endure long after she heads off to college and beyond.
A lot of people are happy that I'm spreading around like the healthy, active lifestyle. It makes me feel like I've put in a lot of work and I've got the reward out of it, and I hope to see it grow throughout the years, even when I graduate, because I'm going to pass this foundation down to my younger sister who's entering high school this year.
Definitely see it keep going and keep growing, because each year we've had more and more kids. Basically, we kind of have a cutoff of where we go with the kids, but we could go even a lot bigger than this if we went younger, but right now, we don't want to go that young yet.
All And in this weather, maybe a little something along the lines you want. The Southern Regional Water Ski Show Tournament was held this weekend in Sarasota Bay, and rather get in the water with this heat. Now teams from Florida, Georgia, and Carolinas and Alabama gathered to compete in the 3-day event.
In this competition, we also have an individual competition that involves double, swivel, freestyle jump, team jump, and barefoot endurance. And those individual qualifiers are actually qualifiers for the national competition.
The teams showed off their ability to do a pyramid, doubles competition, and barefoot skiing. A huge congratulations goes to our home team, the Skiarees, who took first place. According to their Facebook page, that's the first time since 2001. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, it didn't take long for big businesses to get behind the Cavaliers following their win against the Warriors for the NBA championship last night. We'll take a look at some new ads now making the rounds coming up.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, it's all about getting more for your money. More years, more miles, more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. Stop by to see our new state-of-the-art showroom today, and you can lease the most award-winning small SUV on the planet, a new 2016 Subaru Forester, for just $229 a month. Complimentary maintenance included at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
The ability to go to college on a Bright Future Scholarship gave me personally the flexibility to chase a dream. To not have to worry about paying for your college education was absolutely amazing. One step better than that was to leave with no loans. I mean, to start a life, to start a job, to start without having a debt was amazing, and it allowed me to get to where I'm at today.
They took that stress and that tension when I was particularly feeling very bad after that nasty car accident, and it was such a relief to know that I didn't have to bear that burden alone, that I had help.
Our goal is to not just get a satisfactory settlement on their case. We want them up on their feet, happy again. They've gotten their life back.
Discover the biggest savings of the year on some of America's favorite vehicles during the Drive and Discover event going on now at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Get America's best value, a new Grand Caravan for just $18,999 or a new Dodge Journey for just $16,999. Stop by today to shop the area's biggest selection of Ram trucks and save up to $8,000 on your new Ram. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
It's now 5:23, and a big change is coming today for the millions of Costco members. ABC's Kenneth Gibson and Diane Macedo have this morning's business headlines from New York.
Good morning. Topping America's money, do leave home without it because your American Express card is no longer accepted at Costco.
As of this morning, the only credit card the retailer takes is Visa. You can also pay with cash, checks, and debit cards.
Finding Dory proved to be quite a catch at this weekend's box office. The animated movie from our parent company Disney took in more than $136 million.
That's the biggest debut ever for an animated film. And Nike didn't waste any time getting a new ad out right after Cleveland's victory.
Now, it mostly features Cavs fans emotionally reacting to their team winning its first ever championship. The announcer says, come on, we can celebrate, people. We're the champs.
And the NBA also wasted no time. Just minutes after the team's win championship, Cavaliers gear hit the market.
Those are going to be popular on Wednesday at the parade. That's America's Money.
Have a great day.
America's Money, brought to you by Motrin IB.
Headache? Motrin helps you be an unstoppable, let's rock this kind of mom. Back pain? Motrin helps you be a side planking, even though you'll feel it later kind of woman. Body pain? Motrin helps you be an I can totally do this in one trip kind of woman. When pain tries to stop you, Motrin works fast to stop pain. Make it happen with Motrin liquid gels. Also, try Motrin PM to relieve pain and help you sleep.
General Mills is removing artificial flavors and colors from our cereals, so you can love cereal.
From the dairy farmers of Fairlife, this is our promise. We start with delicious, creamy, real milk that's then ultra-filtered so Fairlife has more protein and only half the sugar, and never any artificial growth hormones. At Fairlife, we believe in better.
Stand out in your new wild Lexus. Lease a new 2016 Lexus ES 350 for only $329, or enjoy 0.9% APR, just $329, exclusively at Wild Lexus of Sarasota on Clark Road.
Gas prices are on the rise again, so before you fill up, go to mysuncoast.com for a list of the Suncoast's cheapest gas. ABC 7's Pump Patrol, just another way we're here for you.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Since 1928, Karastan has been setting the standard in carpets and rugs, producing non-allergenic wools that won't promote the growth of bacteria or dust mites like other carpets will. Karastan wools actively remove contaminants from the indoor air, making your home healthier. And there are many colors and patterns and textures to choose from. Come see for yourself.
So many possibilities worth exploring. Minnesota Flooring.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, because Sarasota Ford guarantees you our lowest price on every new Ford every day. Save on America's best-selling truck, 39 years running, the Ford F-150, Fusions, Escapes, over 800 vehicles on-site or online, all on sale. Buy with 0% for 60 months. And now, get up to $2,000 trade assistance. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Hey, I'm really glad that you're taking a few moments to check out this video about the ministry of First Sarasota, Downtown Baptist Church. I'm William Hill, lead pastor here at First Sarasota. For the last 15 years, it's been my privilege to share in the life of this faith community, a community that centers itself around faith, friends, and family. Indeed, it is a ministry that's been in existence right here in this wonderful city for over a century.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Stand out in your new wild Lexus. Lease the bold new 2016 Lexus RX 350 for only $419, or enjoy 1.9% APR, just $419, exclusively at Wild Lexus of Sarasota on Clark Road.
Coming up on Good Morning Suncoast, gun control is at the center of debate in both local and national politics today. We'll take a look at some of the new proposals being discussed. Plus, why self-defense classes are filling up here recently on the Suncoast. And a championship one city has been waiting decades to celebrate. We'll have the highlights from Game 7 of the NBA Finals.
Live from the ABC 7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Welcome back, everybody, along with John Scalzi. I'm Don Brennan. Rebecca has the morning off. Thank you for joining us nonetheless.
Yes.
The beautiful moon out this morning. If you're
Beautiful moon.
Yeah,
it sure is gorgeous out there right now. And it feels very comfortable because the humidity is so low. Look at that shot. That is a live look at the silvery, beautiful orb of love out there in our sky.
I thought Venus was the planet. I thought Venus was the planet of love, John.
Venus. Well, we're stretching things a little bit here this morning. Anyway, it's a beautiful, beautiful sky out there. Not a drop of rain in the forecast for you this morning. All in all, we're looking at a fine day today with plenty of sunshine around, no rain in the forecast, and a daytime high of a comfortable 90, if there is such a thing, because, Don, as we all know, it's not the heat.
It's the humidity.
Thank you very much.
Well, there's some other things been said in these cases, but the humidity would fit right in there, and right now everything's moving along nicely as the day looks clear. So do the roadways right now on the Suncoast here. And coming over from Palmetto, the bridges, the Green and DeSoto bridges looking good, as are the roadways out to 75 from the coast in that area. As you move down into Sarasota County, in fact, Sarasota County is looking completely free and clear at 5:30 this morning. Now, topping our news this half hour, gun control will be center stage on Capitol Hill today. 4 amendments are on the table, and the NRA's chief lobbyist issued a jaw-dropping threat Sunday for lawmakers pushing for gun control measures following the worst mass shooting in the U.S. history. He said, "You will pay a price for it." The showdown over guns set to unfold in the halls of Congress.
Ultimately, the only way that you win this issue is by building a political infrastructure around the country that rivals that of the gun lobby.
Today, the Senate is set to vote on 4 measures dealing with gun control, the critical vote arising following the aftermath of the Orlando nightclub massacre. Those 4 measures, 2 from Democrats and 2 from Republicans, the bills are aimed at expanding background checks and denying gun sales to people on the terror watch list.
Laws didn't stop them in Boston. Laws didn't stop them in San Bernardino, where you had every type of gun control law you could have.
It was Senator Chris Murphy's 15-hour filibuster last week, which pundits say helped push today's vote. And as the spotlight shines on the Senate floor today, Central Florida paying tribute to those 49 lost, more than 30,000 people holding a vigil for the victims in downtown Orlando.
When hate is met with indifference, hate always wins.
Gun control also taking center stage in the race for the White House.
One of the people in that room happened to have it and goes boom, boom. You know what? That would have been a beautiful, beautiful sight.
Surely we can agree. If the FBI is watching you for suspected terrorist links, you should not be able to buy a gun with no questions asked.
It's unlikely that all these proposals will reach the 60 votes necessary for them to pass, but there could be compromise on preventing those on the government's no-fly list from purchasing firearms, with a provision for those denied to appeal that decision. Meanwhile, here on the Suncoast, guns will also be the focus at a city commission meeting today. City Manager Tom Barwin will ask the commission to approve a resolution to ban military-grade high-capacity assault weapons from being used by the public. The resolution would then be sent to state and federal lawmakers. If approved, Sarasota would be the first city in Southwest Florida to demand the nationwide ban. Barwin says his actions were provoked by the loss of Sarasota's own Eddie Sotomayor in the Orlando shooting. Meanwhile, the recent events in Orlando are causing a spike in attendance at a self-defense class here on the Suncoast. ABC7's Adam Cellini has that story.
After tragedy struck so close to home, people seem to be reacting in 2 ways. Some calling for stricter gun laws, while others taking their lives and self-defense into their own hands. When you step into John Brokoff's Krav Maga self-defense class, prepare for the worst.
This is a great opportunity for the girls, if they're working with the guys, to really understand what it's like to be tossed around a little bit.
My goal is not to develop street fighters or fighters. My goal is to develop survivors, and that begins long before the fight.
Hebrew for combat contact, Brokoff says Krav Maga is perfect for any urban threat, which is why classes fill up after tragedies like Orlando.
There are going to be people that run, there are going to be people that stay and provide first aid, and then there's going to be a small group of people that are going to stay and fight. And what I'm developing here is a group of people that are going to stay and fight.
Eric Wilkerson signed up in November, desperate to equip himself for any situation.
These days it can happen anywhere. So you always have to be prepared, know what to do. Me, especially working at a school and just being out and about in society today.
Others plan to fight firearms with firearms, especially in the LGBT community.
Obviously, because we were targeted, definitely targeted in this.
Gun owner Cindy Barnes has been fielding several questions from friends in her local group, Sarasota Pride.
I got mine after Aurora because I felt like, you know, we're not improving, we're going the other direction, and I want to be protected.
National LGBT gun group Pink Pistols has reportedly doubled its membership since Sunday, and dozens more like Sarasota gun shop owner Mike Young are applying to start their own local chapters.
And Sunday happened, and I'm like, we got to do it now.
right now. We got to do it, you know, because I'm tired of people being defenseless.
And if we can have more people prepared and ready for whatever happens, the world's safer.
The universal theme across all this self-defense training is the hope that you'll never have to use it. In Bradenton, Adam Cellini, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Adam. In consumer news, if you're a Ticketmaster customer, you may want to check your account. You may have a free ticket to an upcoming event, as millions of customers getting free vouchers thanks to a 13-year-old lawsuit. The suit claimed that Ticketmaster was charging excessive and deceptive fees. The lawsuit was settled in April. Now the company will issue $45 million worth of cash, discounts, and tickets to U.S. customers who made purchases on its website between October 1999 and February 2013. A ticket code will show up in customers' accounts, which can be redeemed for 2 general admission tickets to selected events operated by Live Nation Entertainment. Speaking of entertainment, the NBA Finals was quite entertaining. Came down to the decisive Game 7 last night right here on ABC7. With a win, the Cavs would end a 52-year championship drought for the whole city of Cleveland and every team. The Warriors were up by 7 in the first half, but well, Cleveland came back late, took the lead, and they won 93-89. Unbelievable. The drought comes to an end for the whole city. The Cavs with that big win. The team making history as the first team to win the championship after trailing the series 3-1.
You know, the Browns, the Indians, the Cavs, and so on, and all the other sports teams, they continue to support us, and for us to be able to end this drought. Our fans deserve it. They deserve it, and it was for them.
All right, LeBron was the MVP of that series, and what a phenomenal series it was. And go to golf. U.S. Open always ending on Father's Day, and yesterday was no different with a little excitement. Dustin Johnson had already had some rules issues in a major back in 2010. Yesterday, he addressed that putt right there, trying to come from 4 shots back on the 5th hole. The ball moved. He did not touch it, but he grounded his club. They told him right there to putt out. It wouldn't be a problem. But then on the 12th hole, they told him that they were reviewing it and he probably would be penalized, but they weren't going to let him know until after the match. So he comes all the way back. He has a 3-shot lead. He sticks the landing right here on the 18th to put himself in good stead for a birdie, which he did. He birdied to go 5 under, but they took a shot away, so he's 4 under. Thankfully, Shane Lowry and everybody behind him could not make up any ground. He won the U.S. Open, the 116th U.S. Open. So his baby mama, Paulina Gretzky, and his baby right there from Father's Day. So he, Wayne Gretzky, not the only great one in that family anymore, because Dustin Johnson has a major win. Look at that.
How about that?
Yes,
That's
amazing. Great. It's amazing that he had to overcome that, John. He had to play with that hanging over his head, thinking, oh my gosh, you know, I'm going to get probably penalized, but I don't know. And, you know, you got to concentrate on the game, and he's got to worry about that.
And that's one of those games where just a little bit of a shift in mindset
Exactly.
make all the difference. We have some beautiful weather for you this afternoon. A lot of drier air has moved in. That's going to produce some lower relative humidities and make our daytime highs pretty comfortable for this time of year. We'll talk about that.
All right. Thank you, John. New guidelines go into place for rehabilitation following a stroke. We'll tell you more on that coming up in our Health Smart Report.
I'm Dale Mast, and we're celebrating 40 years on the west coast of Florida.
It's our 40th anniversary, and it's time for a celebration, the Culligan Hydration Celebration. For a limited time, celebrate by taking $250 off any Culligan home system. That's $250 off Culligan water softener systems, drinking water systems, or whole house water filters. Help us celebrate our 40th anniversary, and remember,
for better water, pure and simple, call today and say, hey, Culligan man.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Did you know? When your dog stays at Canine Corral, the play is free? Contact Canine Corral today about boarding and daycare packages. Canine Corral, where the love is.
They care. They take the time to understand you, take the time to understand your case.
There's no better satisfaction to me than to see a client who is happy because of the job we've done for them.
It's really actually very comforting to know that there's someone that you've heard of and
you're getting recommendations about that you can turn to when you have a problem.
I felt like I had a partner in this, and he was going to be by my side.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Discover the biggest savings of the year on some of America's favorite vehicles during the Drive and Discover event going on now at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Get four-wheeler magazines 4x4 of the decade, a new Jeep Wrangler as low as $25,999, or drive away in a new Jeep Cherokee for just $19,999. Get a new 2016 Jeep Patriot for just $14,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Pomero Shop Furniture. After 66 years in Sarasota, we're still the leader in hard-to-find and custom-made furniture. We have literally thousands of fabrics and patterns to choose from, and our free in-home design consultation will help you create rooms in your home specific to your unique style. Our inventory changes daily, so come in today to see what's new. Plus, anything in our showroom can be part of your home the very next day. Pomero Shop Furniture, now with 3 locations.
Just because someone grows older, does that mean they have to grow apart from their friends or from the things they love to do? With Right at Home, it doesn't. Right at Home's professional team thoughtfully selects caregivers to help with personal care, housekeeping, meals, and most of all, staying engaged in life.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you ready to go?
Oh, I sure am.
We can provide the right care right at home.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
So enjoying a pretty nice start to the day, I'd say. 74 degrees the air temperature. We have a dew point of 68. That feels very comfortable, and that wind out of the northeast continues to pump down that drier air, making it feel pretty comfortable out there. Now, across the region, temperatures are comfortable as well. 73 degrees in Arcadia, Wauchula, Sebring. We have 73 in Mayaca, 74 Northport, Parrish, and Bradenton, both at 73. So is Lakewood Ranch, 75 Venice, Inglewood, and Longboat Key at 77. I think these inland temperatures will drop further tomorrow morning. Probably see some 68s on the board tomorrow morning. So some delightful couple of days coming our way as we head into the next probably 3-4 days, I think. We have a big ridge of high pressure that's set back to the west. Remember, it was the one that brought that ridiculously warm weather, and still is actually, to parts of the desert southwest. Well, some of that high pressure is trying to nose its way a little bit further to the east now as a cold front has actually slipped through the area. It's producing a few scattered showers down along the Florida Strait still, kind of stalled out down there, waiting to basically just wash away. We have some showers in the western Great Lakes. Those showers will gradually drift a little further to the east and help to trigger off perhaps the potential for some severe weather today in parts of the upper Great Lakes. Otherwise, for us, we aren't going to see much going on around here at all. A strong onshore flow from the Atlantic producing a few scattered showers over on that coast, but locally, we're not going to see any of it. We are locked into a dry weather pattern that'll carry us through at least Wednesday. The forecast calls for the Ohio Valley, well, actually all the way to the eastern Great Lakes, to the Ohio Valley, through the Ohio Valley and into the open plains, having the potential for some severe weather today. But the deep south looks great. All our airport hubs are just fine if you're traveling today. And certainly the state of Florida should remain rain-free, except maybe for the very southern tip. Might see an isolated shower or two later this afternoon, but those showers will be few and far between. Tropics are pretty quiet, relatively speaking, for us anyway. We have the near Atlantic looking very tame and quiet. The Florida Straits, the Caribbean, all look good. The eastern part of the Gulf of Mexico looks fine. We do have this cluster of showers right here. You see that explosion pop up there on our colorized colorized infrared imagery, showing you the brightest, whitest cloud tops. Well, that's a depression. It's Tropical Depression number 4. Forecast on a track that carries it further and further and further away from the state of Florida toward Mexico. So it's really not going to be an issue. It'll make landfall, and by tomorrow, just be a leftover area of low pressure that'll fade away, producing some fairly heavy rainfall in that location. For us, it produces nothing. Drier air has filtered down from the north, and that will continue today. That's what the kind of tan color is here. That's dry air at mid and upper levels, and that ensures us a beautiful afternoon. With high pressure sinking south and the winds directed out of the northwest around it, northeast rather, I doubt we see much rainfall till probably about, I'd say Thursday, when high pressure begins to move out into the Atlantic and shift our winds to a more southerly to easterly direction. Then the humidity returns and we start to factor in rain chances. Northeast wind at about 10 to 15 today will give you a moderate chop on bay and inland waters. And for this first day of summer, it will feel very comfortable. Daytime highs topping out near 90, and as we head into the week ahead, we'll start to factor in perhaps an isolated shower on Thursday, but I really don't think till we get to the weekend will we see a 20 to 30% chance of rain, and even that, it's not all that much. Don?
Thank you, John. Taking a look at the Suncoast roadways. They've been free and clear this morning with no issues or delays, and right now that is holding true in Manatee County. Everything is looking good. State Road 64, State Road 70, and all the bridges coming over from Palmetto to and fro, and looking good. Free and clear this morning in Sarasota. That, too, is moving along nicely. There's a little bit of a hiccup there on Fruitville Road as you are about to get on 75 from the west, but there's no accidents or otherwise delays, just a little bit of a backup at a traffic light. Everything else is looking good this morning. And for the first time, there are now guidelines for rehabilitation after suffering a stroke. And ABC7's Alex Redmond has more on how it's making a difference for stroke patients.
Right foot by knee, bring it over here.
He stands 6 feet tall, and Rick Martin is relearning.
I had a stroke.
To walk.
The doctor told me when I woke up.
His wife Lynn, there the whole time.
He just laid there. He couldn't, you could tell he couldn't communicate. He was very emotional.
Unable to walk or even sit on the side of the bed without collapsing, says Lynn Martin.
I couldn't pick him up, move him, so he needed to progress before we could go home. And we didn't want to just ship him to a nursing home yet.
At the beginning of his journey, he wasn't able to stand up. He was scared. He wasn't able to do any physical activities. He was dependent with absolutely everything. Simple stuff like getting in and out of bed, rolling in bed. He couldn't do it.
Previous guidelines focused on medical issues involved in the initial management of stroke.
For patients that are not going to come to inpatient rehab, there is a great risk of falls.
Now, the American Stroke Association strongly recommends, whenever possible, that stroke patients be treated at an inpatient rehabilitation facility rather than a skilled nursing facility.
This is 1 week after the stroke. Patient unable to walk by herself.
A short time later.
Walking 15 minutes after the treatment, the same day.
Polivchek says that there's a difference in the outcomes because there's a team of clinicians that specialize in stroke, and therefore people are able to go home much faster.
Yeah, it starts out slow at first, but then it just picks right up before you know it. It's working.
Rick Martin is getting stronger, but had he not had inpatient rehabilitation,
I think he'd still be sitting there in his wheelchair doing nothing, is what I really think. This has helped him so much.
One thing's for sure.
Yeah, she's stuck with me.
Reporting in Sarasota, Alex Redmond, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
It doesn't matter how careful you are, sometimes there's just no preventing a bee sting. But while it can be a painful experience, there are things you can do to find relief. The first step after getting stung is to check and see if the bee left a stinger behind and to get it out if so. Using cool compresses will help reduce the swelling and provide some relief. Hydrocortisone cream can also be used to ease any discomfort. And one of the most common fears people have after getting stung by a bee is suffering an allergic reaction. Anyone experiencing symptoms of an allergic reaction should seek help immediately. We all know exercise helps build our muscles, but that's not the only thing it's helping build these days. New research shows it also helps build brain power as well. Researchers in Scotland and the Netherlands put 72 subjects through a learning task and then divided them into 3 groups. One group worked out right after the learning exercise. The second group worked out 4 hours later. The last group did not exercise at all. In a test of their memory, the group who did the best were those who worked out 4 hours after the learning session. However, those who worked out immediately after learning did no better than those who didn't work out at all. Researchers think it may have something to do with exercise releasing more of the chemicals in our body that help us remember. Now, stay with us. We're coming back with more news after this.
College is the best starting line a Florida student could have. Since earning my degree at the University of Florida, I've gone on to be a NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Rookie of the Year and a team owner in the NASCAR K&N Pro Series. Thanks to the Florida Lottery, many more students will be off to the races with a brighter future. The Florida Lottery, just imagine.
At SWC Properties, we pride ourselves on providing to you the very best in customer satisfaction. To list your home with SWC, give us a call and don't forget to watch the House to Home show every Saturday night here on ABC 7. It's simple. We just market your home better.
Being the caregiver for someone you love is truly a blessing. But sometimes you can lose a part of yourself. To be your best, for them and for you, it's important to have time to be able to recharge your batteries. When you call Tidewell Hospice, they can give you a chance to do just that, and with the peace of mind of knowing your loved one is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, because Sarasota Ford guarantees you our lowest price on every new Ford every day. Save on America's best-selling truck, 39 years running, the Ford F-150. Fusions, Escapes, over 800 vehicles on-site or online, all on sale. Buy with 0% for 60 months. And now, get up to 2,000 trade assistance. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Batteries Plus bulbs keep stacks of batteries for cars, cell phones, watches, plus light bulbs for lamps, can lights, and appliances right on hand. Did I mention we also repair smartphones? Batteries Plus bulbs. Trust the plus. Visit Batteries Plus bulbs today.
I'm Dale Mast, and we're celebrating 40 years on the west coast of Florida.
It's our 40th anniversary and it's time for a celebration, the Culligan Hydration Celebration. For a limited time, celebrate by taking $250 off any Culligan home system. That's $250 off Culligan water softener systems, drinking water systems, or whole house water filters. Help us celebrate our 40th anniversary, and remember,
For better water, pure and simple, call today and say, "Hey, Culligan man."
Welcome back, and here's what's coming up at 6 o'clock, John. You want to stay tuned for this. A Suncoast man found guilty of human trafficking for the first time in this area. Now prosecutors hope it will encourage others to come forward concerning this type of crime. Family will gather today to release reef balls created with loved ones' ashes. The devices will create a memorial and natural reef that will benefit the environment. Also, a series of workshops will kick off this week to give residents a better understanding of Sarasota County's new flood maps, and we'll also have highlights from NBA Finals Game 7. And even bears are looking for ways to beat the heat. Well, this one in New Jersey ended up ruining a family's Father's Day plans. The McNeil family just wanted to spend the day in their pool, but they found someone else already beat them to the pool. The large black bear was seen playing with the pool equipment and dog battling all around. After a while, the family says the bear shook himself off and headed down the street. No worse for wear. Everybody wins. And finally, a World War II veteran from the Suncoast can check a big item off her bucket list. 93-year-old Wendy Hobson, as always, wanted to ride a motorcycle in the Brookdale, Sarasota Central Senior Living Community, and AM vets, they all teamed up to grant her wish. She was aware that a few friends were taking her for a ride, but had no idea more than 50 motorcyclists and veterans would show up to surprise her.
That's awesome.
We're very honored and excited to be able to not only help participate in granting Wendy her bucket list wish, but also honoring her legacy as a great World War II veteran as well, who served our country so admirably.
This is the first time the two groups have come together to grant a wish for a veteran, and what a ride it was. And thank you to Jerry Flanagan, whose father is a resident there as well, and told me all about the story coming up. Wanted us to be sure to cover it because it was such a momentous event, John.
That is cool.
It really is.
Yeah.
Really is.
They didn't even put her on a three-wheeler.
No.
Just right on out.
Total surprise. She thought she was just going for a ride in the park.
Wow. Cool.
5:55, we'll be back with more news after this.